The people of the fine city of Antalya have moved mountains to hold these championships. Turkey is rebuilding. It rebuilds with open arms and a warm smile, and they have, as a city, opened their hearts to the gymnasts of Europe. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be guests in this wonderful nation at a difficult time for them. On behalf of Europe, we say Teşekkürler. Thank you. You are watching the 10th European Artistic Gymnastics Championships. It's the women's all-around final, and here are your contenders. Tonja Paulsson, a Youth Olympic Games medalist and the reigning Swedish all-around champion. These are the gymnasts that will start on beam, the third highest group of qualifiers. Representing Finland, Kaija Tanskinen, the reigning Northern European all-around champion. Hungary's Zoya Sekai, twice a European Championship medalist. Germany's Sarah Voss, the reigning all-around national champion and part of the team that won a home European Championship bronze last year. Emily Westlund, part of the Swedish team that won gold at last year's Nordic Championships.
Alba Petisco, Spain.
Alba Petisco from Spain, a Youth Olympic Games champion and a Mediterranean Games medalist. And now to the fourth highest group of qualifiers, who start on floor. Austria's Selina Kickinger, a two-time medalist at last year's National Championships. Representing France, Morgane Ossisek, three times a medalist at the Mediterranean Games. Maïssa Kuusiko, the reigning Finnish all-around national champion 2 years running. Belgium's Maëlys Brassard, the silver medalist at last year's National Championships.
Alice Blakova, Czech Republic.
From the Czech Republic, Alice Vlkova, a senior European Championship debutant, but already a junior national champion. Maria Tronrud from Norway, a medalist at both the Nordic Championships and the Northern European Championships. Now the gymnasts starting on the uneven bars, the second highest group of qualifiers. Amalia Ghegoată from Romania, last year's all-around silver medalist at the Junior European Championships. And also from Romania, Ana Barbosu, an undefeated junior at continental level, winner of an astonishing 6 gold medals at the Mersin 2020 Championships. From the Netherlands, Aitora Thorsdottir, winner of 4 European Championship medals.
Bianca Friesak, Austria.
In as the first reserve, Bianca Friesak from Austria, her first international competition since the 2021 World Championships. Laura Casabuena from Spain, part of this very promising and exciting squad coming through, a Mediterranean Games medalist. From Italy, Manila Esposito, a European Championship debutant but already a World Cup champion and a multiple medalist at national level. And now to the highest group of qualifiers. Italy's Alice D'Amato, a European champion and a World Championship medalist. From Hungary, Zofia Kovacs, already 3 times a champion of Europe. The top qualifier, Great Britain's Jessica Gadirova, Olympic medalist and a world and European champion. The reigning Belgian all-around national champion, Lisa Vallen. Georgia May Fenton from Great Britain, a European champion, a World Championship medalist and a 3-time Commonwealth Games champion. And representing the Netherlands, Naomi Visser, a European Championship medalist and the reigning all-around national champion. Those are your 24. And so, we are moments away from beginning the women's all-around final at the European Championships of Artistic Gymnastics. Welcome wherever in the world you call home, whatever time of day or night you're choosing to keep us company, and we hope we can keep you company with some very entertaining gymnastics. My name's Ollie Hogben, and as ever, it is great to have you with us for yet another European Championships. The last moments of contemplation, of stillness for these athletes before their final begins. For whom the bell tolls, it tolls the beginning of warm-up. But the real question is this: after their team's success, will it be another gold for Great Britain today? Will Jessica once again be jumping for joy at the end of competition? In short, will Gadirova be glad it's over? Or will the second best qualifier be Hungary for top spots? Will Zsofia Kovács be hard to match? Italy is one of the top gymnastics nations in the world, and they never serve up a rotten tomato. Will the Italians sing their anthem loudly into the night? Will they screech for Alice? But overlook things at your peril. Ignore top names, and it could be costly. The Dutch think they've got the numbers to win this. Let's give Naomi some credit. It might be time to pay our Visser bill. And there's another British athlete with her eyes on gold, and Fenton has proven how good she is. Georgia May? No, Georgia can. And completing the top group is a Belgian called Valen, who might do better than in qualifying. Will Lisa increase her? That's the top 6, but the peloton, as you can see, is strong. It's over to them now. It's their time in the spotlight. They've earned it. Any gymnast that makes it to a European Championship all-around final deserves a metaphorical or literal glass raised to them, as you choose. But we doff our caps to every gymnast that makes it to a huge international final like this. Whether you come in as one of the top qualifiers, whether you come in as a reserve gymnast, your place has been earned. You've got a seat at the table. And there's a gymnast in Maëlys Brassard that we would do well to keep our eyes on. She's in the 4th group of qualifiers as the 27th best performer. However, she has had much better results than that over the course of her all-around career and could be a stealth mover. But in the top group, Italy has been fantastic at these championships, as has Great Britain. The Dutch won a team bronze medal, and we must talk about Hungary. What an accomplishment for the Hungarian team. They so nearly made it onto the podium in the women's team competition. And leading them, of course, Zsofia Kovács, who was electric in qualification. How are your nerves doing? I'm talking about you as the fans watching on, not the gymnasts. They're probably fine. Hope you're looking forward to it. Let's begin this women's all-around final. Tonja Paulsson of Sweden on the balance beam. She was the 17th best in qualification, and she is the national champion as both an all-arounder and a balance beam specialist. So a nice way to begin our competition, getting to watch this 19-year-old from Slottsstaden in the Malmö area. Well, that will do very nicely to begin from Tonje Paulsen. She had real problems on beam at the World Championships. It came off a couple of times. That's a secure beginning. The top group of qualifiers are at the vaulting table. Alice D'Amato scored 14 in qualification. She was the third best overall. Oh, that's a very nice beginning from Alice D'Amato. '20-year-old based in Brescia, like the vast majority of gymnasts in Italy. Lovely central line of attack. I'm going to see some interesting double twisting Yurchenko vaulting that could make a real impact on the standings. Now we go to a gymnast who's an exciting prospect, Amalia Ghegoata of Romania, 10th strongest in qualification. She scored 12.766 on the uneven bars. Transitions with the Maloney. Unfortunately, just didn't quite get the swing right. Only 16, this athlete. Great to see her in this final, having won the silver medal at the Junior European Championships in Munich last year. It's a tricky beginning, but you would expect it to be tricky, a big occasion like this, qualifying for your first senior international all-around final. She's at the embryonic phase of her senior career. Well, there are elements of that routine that show the great promise that she has as a gymnast, the 16-year-old from Lugoj in the west of Romania. And as I said, senior international debut. Let's give her some time. 14 for Alice D'Amato. And that is exactly as she scored in qualification. Tonje Paulsen with a 12.433. That's down by less than a tenth from qualifying, so a secure start for her. Now what will we see from Zsofia Kovacs, the second best performer in qualification? The European champion on vault. Her first vault in qualification was excellent. And it is very strong today. That is her take on the double twisting Yurchenko. It's the second vault that was problematic for her in qualifying. So we won't see her in the vault final, but will we see her on the all-around podium?
Athletes from France.
To Jessica Gadirova, the top performer in the preliminary round. '18-year-old. All-around bronze medalist at the last World Championships. Goodness, that's a very compelling beginning from her as well. So we've seen three really nicely performed double twisting Yurchenko vaults. Comfortable looking start for some of the top performers, the top three qualifiers all delivering on vaults. Got such power, real amplitude, small landing adjustment, but quite central. It's a 14.1 for Zsofia Kovacs. That's virtually the same as qualification, down by less than a 10. It's a 9.266 for Amalia Giguata. We have a look at Giguata's teammate now. Ana Barbosu of Romania. 16-year-old from Focșani. She was a top 20 performer in the all-around competition at the World Championships in Liverpool after being 7th at the European Championships in Munich. Another young gymnast. And I'm sure many of you remember her as she uses the classical Shaposhnikova transition in the Ejeva from the Junior European Championships in Mersin in this country. Oh, that's a good hold to stay on. Straight Kachev. She's got some interesting work in this routine. As I was saying earlier, 6 gold medals at the Junior European Championships in Turkey. So some cost in terms of the break in her form, but real strength to hold and to stay on the apparatus. She gives way to a veteran. Now, if there is a gymnast who's got the potential to take an early lead, as the 7th best qualifier starting on vault, it's the 18-year-old Belgian, Lisa Valen. Oh, yeah, that'll do the trick. That's a super piece of vaulting. Her trademark Rudy that she does so well. And we'll come back to that in a moment. Meanwhile, Zoya Sekai of Hungary struggling with her mount. So we're looking now at the 19-year-old from Budapest. Twice a European Championship medalist. Sekai was the 14th best in qualification. On beam, she scored 11.766. Hand coming down. Well, a tricky beginning, unfortunately, for the experienced Zoya Sekai from Hungary. We're with Aitora Thorsdottir of the Netherlands on the uneven bars. 24-year-old, 4 times a European Championship medalist. Good qualification round, 8th best. Plenty of amplitude as she attacked the Stradeljäger. Lots of height in the dismount as well. Starting her final is Aitora Thorsdottir of the Netherlands. Now that is a rude awakening for the rest of the field. 14.333 for Lisa Valen. That's going to be the top score in this first rotation, surely. Jessica Gadirova with a 14.1. That's down by a single tenth from qualifying. Meanwhile, Valen was up, or is up, by about a tenth and a half. Ana Barbosu, 13.133, so she's dropped by about half a mark from qualification. She was just inside the top 10. Much of that attributable to the loss of form she had in the handstand position. Sarah Voss of Germany, 20th in qualification. She scored 11.666 on beam. She is the reigning German all-around champion. Unfortunate to see her struggling at the start on beam. It was on the beam that she won her first World Cup medals last year. Took a gold medal in Baku before then going on to win uneven bars silver in Osijek in the Challenge Cup series. Well, she gets through the remainder of it. Sarah Voss of Germany. But it's unlikely we're going to see a great deal of positive change to her score from qualification there. Certainly a gymnast we've got to keep an eye on in the bottom group of qualifiers. Maëlys Brassard of Belgium. She scored 12.1 on floor. She has potential really to make a move up the standings. An engaging gymnast, Maëlys Brassard, the 21-year-old who competed at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Rather lovely occasion when everyone gathered in the car park of her local club in Dotenis to watch the competition on a big screen that was balancing rather precariously on a car trailer.
Uneven bars now, an athlete from Spain.
Laura Casabuena on the uneven bars. Very nice performance in qualification. 13.133. She was the 12th best overall. Made the all-around final at the Mediterranean Games in Algeria last year. Opens up with a Maloney into the pack salto. Perhaps struggled a little to keep some of the leg form there, particularly the toe point. And to secure Jaeger. Interesting work. It's a nice dismount from Laura Casabuena. Actually started in judo as well as in artistic gymnastics. Very interesting decision she had to make as to which to choose.
One of the younger athletes in this all-around final. She's only 17. She trains at the Spanish
13.2 for Aitora Torres Dottir.
In Madrid.
So that is a drop of about 3/10 from the preliminary round. A reminder, she was the 8th best in qualification. For Zoya Sekai, it is regrettably a mark lower at 10.666 than she scored in qualification. For Sarah Vos, it's 11.966. That's 3/10 up from qualification, but not the big gain that certainly she would have been hoping for. Well, welcome Alice Vilkova, the 15-year-old Senior European Championship debutant. Oh, well done, Alice Vilkova. This is only her second ever senior international competition.
The all-around final of the European Championships, and that is no surprise since she's only 15 years old.
Alba Patisco,
In the city of Brno.
the gymnast who really has become a leader figure at 20 in this Spanish team, hugely respected.
Spain, Alba Patisco.
Such a confident mount. She scored 11.466 on beam in qualification. There's a chance to make some improvements upon that. She was the 18th best overall. She's a gymnast with authority, not just on the competition floor, but off of it, in how she works with the team. You may have remembered that from the European Championships last year, where she was so important at marshalling the younger gymnasts and keeping their spirits up when things didn't go well. She's come a long, long way since she first went to gymnastics on her father's bicycle all those years ago in Catalonia. That's a superstar from Alba Petisco of Spain. Oh, well done. Now that will be an interesting comparison to make to her qualification score. Beam was her lowest mark of the 4 in the preliminary stage. To Georgia May Fenton of Great Britain on vault. 5th best in qualification. Unfortunately, problems with the Yurchenko 1.5. 12.066 for Georgia May Fenton. And that's down by almost a mark and 3/4 from qualifying. Now, a gymnast who we're playing the long game with, because certainly from a vaulting difficulty standpoint, Naomi Visser of the Netherlands will not be up there at the end of the first rotation. Just the single compared to the double twisting Yurchenkos that we've seen so far, but it was soundly performed, 13.266. But uneven bars for her is coming next. That was really impressive in qualification. She finishes on floor, where she also was one of the strongest performers. Team silver medalist Manila Esposito of Italy, 11th best in overall qualification. Scored just over 12 on the uneven bars. How does she fare here? Oh, that's really unfortunate. She fought very hard to stabilise that. 12.5 the score. It is up from qualification, but only by just over 2/10. So we're at the conclusion of the first rotation. Laura Casabuena scored 12.9. That's a drop of just over 2/10. Maëlys Brassard, 12.466. So she has gained 3/10. Alicja Vilkova, 12.233, virtually the same as qualification. That will do very nicely for her for a first performance. Alba Petisco, 12.5. She makes a gain of over a mark. So that for Alba Petisco is one of the big movers in terms of qualification to final of the round. I'll just bring you a little more action from this first rotation. This is Morgane Ossisek of France on floor. Morgane Ossisek scored 12.633 for that routine in qualification. 12.3 the score on this occasion, so a small drop. and let's take stock of what it means. As we expected, Lisa Vahlen is top of the standings. Second place, Jessica Gadirova and Zofia Kovac tied, but a long way still to go. Alba Petisco well positioned alongside Minella Esposito after her really impressive beam display that was a lot better than qualification, so she's set up well now for the rest of the competition. So we have a look down the order at the gymnasts seeking to build upon a first round that perhaps didn't go according to plan. And welcome any of you who are just switching on now and joining the competition as we begin this second rotation. It was a glorious day for Turkey yesterday as Adam Asil won the men's all-around title, the first ever gymnast from this nation to be an all-around European champion. The silver medal was won by Great Britain's Jake Jarman, and the bronze medal went to Ukraine's Ilya Kovtun. So now coming to vault, the gymnasts who were the fourth best in the preliminary round. Morgane Osisek, certainly somebody who's got the potential to move up a little in the standings there with her vaulting work. On the uneven bars, we now have the top group of qualifiers. Zofia Kovac has a particularly compelling uneven bars routine, as does Alice D'Amato. She was the best in the qualification round. Naomi Visser also has the potential to deliver something very special there too. So it could be a really exciting bars rotation for this top group of qualifiers. Getting ready to take to the balance beam are the gymnasts from Romania. And we'll now catch up with Floor. And we were for a moment just looking at Kaija Tanskanen. Ana Barbosu of Romania. 7th place coming into this second rotation. She scored 12.8 on beam in qualifying. She has produced some extremely compelling performances on beam in the FIG World Cup and World Challenge Cup series, including taking gold medals. Smoothness in the wolf turns. Halfway there for Ana Barbosu of Romania, seeking to build upon the 13.133 she scored in the first rotation on the uneven bars. The gymnast who is currently positioned exactly where she finished in Munich, 7th. Big performance coming up for Zofia Kovac. She scored 14.266 in qualification, joint second place coming into this rotation. Very tidy. Connecting Tkachev into a Pak Salto, getting some extra marks. Well, she's made a good start. Halfway through, Zsofia Kovac, very much in contention. A wonderful gymnast, such a terrific all-around performer when everything comes together, just as it did in qualification. Now we go to gymnast with scoring potential on vault, Morgana Osisek. Very cleanly performed. And it was similar, full twisting Yurchenko to qualification, 13.2, down by 0.2. But that's going to help her. She's had a pretty secure start to her competition. 23rd best in qualification. Bars will be key next for Osisek, where she scored only 10.566 in qualification. Aytode Thorsdottir started with 13.2 on the uneven bars. Qualification, the 24-year-old from Rotterdam scored 12. One of the competition successes that we never really talk about with Aytode Thorsdottir, because it's not a major event, is one that nonetheless was really special to her when several years ago she won the all-around title at the Reykjavik International Games. Lovely opportunity for her with her connection to the wonderful country of Iceland, with her parents having moved to the Netherlands for work, but being from that nation. Must have been a lovely feeling for her in that still then relatively early stage of her career to stand on top of the podium in the place where it all began. Little adjustment sidestep from Aytode Thorsdottir of the Netherlands, but she has gone through the first half of her final with clarity. We now go to Jessica Gadirova of Great Britain, scored 13.866 in qualification. And that is a really key part of her routine, and it's been performed well. There's some leg separation in the Pak Salto, but this is going very compellingly so far for Jessica Gadirova of Great Britain. Just about stabilises the landing. She started with real authority, 14.1 on vault. It'll be interesting to see how highly she scores on the uneven bars there. Now to Maisa Kuusikko of Finland on vault. And I need to offer a little correction here. I think I said at the start that she was the reigning national champion. She was actually ill for the last national championship, so I apologise to Sani Mäkelä, who I stripped a national title from. But Maisa Kuusikko has been national champion on many occasions. And she scores a 13.1 there on vault, exactly as she did in qualification, having started with a 12.3 on floor, almost exactly as she did in qualification there. Morgane Ossisek scores 13.2. Just to confirm that from earlier, 13.7 for Zsofia Kovac. That is down actually by over half a mark from qualification. Jessica Gadirova, 13.366, is quite similar. She's down by half a mark exactly from qualification. Anna Barbosu, 12.933. And 12.9 for Aytora Torolsdottir. Hope you remembered all of those. That was a big jump for Torolsdottir by almost a full mark. So that's another one to really keep an eye on in terms of movement potential. As is Lisa Wahlen, the leader after the first rotation, the 1/4 mark. 14 in qualifying. Two of the other top gymnasts have slipped away a little. Can she keep her score big? She was the 7th best overall in qualification. A lot of people are very hopeful about her potential to move up the standings, and that's very well done from Lisa Wahlen, the 18-year-old. She did win a bronze medal on the uneven bars at the National Championships last year, where she was the all-around champion. Here is Maëlys Brassard, her teammate over on vault. Quite a big hop back, landing the full twisting Yurchenko. She scored 3/10 or more than 3/10 higher on floor in qualification. She gets the same score on vault as in the preliminary round, 13.333. Emily Westlund of Sweden takes to the floor. 19th best overall in qualification. She scored 11.866 in qualification for this routine. It's a nice performance from Emily Westlund of Sweden. My memory serves me correctly. I think the German rhythmic gymnast Margarita Kolosov also uses that music. Westlund's done her own thing with it and done it well. A little bit of patching up for Jessica Gadirova before the next rotation. Laura Casabuena of Spain on beam. She started with a 12.9 on the uneven bars. This was the one that was more troublesome in qualification. 11.8 was the score. And she's done extremely well to minimise the deductions as best she can there. Only made her senior European Championship debut last year. Competed a lot when she was a junior with her younger sister Lucia. It's another big moment of necessary recovery from Casabuena. It is naturally going to add up quite a lot, but she has stayed on 2 occasions when gravity was begging to differ. Sometimes so much comes down to what you save, not what you lose. And again, big lunge back on the landing, but she holds it just about. She's a resourceful gymnast, isn't she, Laura Casabuena? Physical and mental agility there. A chance for Naomi Visser of the Netherlands to move up the standings, because she was superb in qualification with a 14.466. The uneven bars marks have been down so far for the top group compared to the preliminary round. And Visser bucked the trend. Oh, well. She does finish extremely strongly. It's going to be interesting to look at the data trend in the uneven bars at the end of this rotation for those top qualifiers. Meanwhile, we go to Maria Tronrud of Norway on vault. She scored 12.833 in qualification. Gymnast who won the silver medal in the all-round competition at the Northern European Championships in November. She's down 1/10 from qualification. And she also won the all-around bronze medal at the Nordic Championships several months before that. So it's good to see her having had real success in those regional European competitions to now be in the all-around final continent-wide. Manila Esposito. The balance beam 12.833 in qualification. She won a bronze medal on beam at the National Championships in October and took her first World Cup medals this year in Cottbus, including a silver on beam.
Uneven bars. So we have inquiries now for the 2 British gymnasts on uneven bars, Georgia Fenton and Jessica Gadirova, and the inquiry for Gadirova has been accepted. For Sweden, Tonia Paulsson.
Oh, that was a tough landing for Manila Esposito. Her teammate is coming up now on the uneven bars. Alice D'Amato. 14.5 in qualification. She was magnificent, as you would expect from somebody with her pedigree on this apparatus. Very nice into the Bahardwaj. Uses the Van Leeuwen transition. That's well performed by Alice D'Amato. Silver medalist on the uneven bars at the last European Championships. Let's catch up with Selina Kickinger of Austria on vault. 24th best in qualification. Very nice vaulting. Full twisting Yurchenko, confidently done. 13.166 for her. She had some really difficult injuries when she was younger, but it's clear if you talk to her that she feels fitter and stronger, in her own words, than she's ever done, and she's made it through a rather difficult period with real determination. Good to see her in this final.
And there the score.
So the score for Lisa Vahlen is 13.7. That's down by 0.3 from qualification. She's still well positioned. Naomi Fisser, 14.033. So although that is, like everyone, really down from qualification, it's still a big number. And that is going to help move her very much up into contention. As I said, with Fisser, we're playing the long game, particularly with her finishing on floor with such potential to score well there. Amalia Giguata of Romania on beam. Didn't have the easiest of starts, did she, on the uneven bars? As I said earlier, it's her senior international debut. She followed the junior European Championships last year with a very impressive domestic performance. She won the silver medal in the all-around at the senior national championships, and then she actually went back to the junior apparatus national championships where she won the title on beam. So that was because she'd won the all-around gold earlier in the year, with Romania separating its all-around and apparatus championships. So it's a relatively unusual situation to see a gymnast win the junior all-around national title, then win in the same year a senior all-around medal, and then go back to being a junior apparatus champion. One thing is clear, she is learning how to win, and win well domestically. Nice to see that performance from Amalia Giguata on the beam, where she scored 13.133 in qualification.
Dear gymnast, please change apparel.
Georgia May Fenton had a tricky start on vault, but she is so capable, more than capable. She's outstanding on this apparatus. The reigning two-time Commonwealth Games uneven bars champion. Competition back on track for Georgia May Fenton of Great Britain. Good display. 13.8 for her, very similar to qualification. Now let's have a look at some of the other action that happened in this rotation, starting with Alba Petisco on floor, where she scored 12.733 in qualifying. Spain's Alba Petisco, who has been a World Cup champion on floor. She scores 12.5 exactly as she did for beam. And that's a really significant number for Alice D'Amato. 14.4, the best that we have seen on the uneven bars. And I think the best score overall of the first half of this competition. So what does it mean? It means that Alice D'Amato is now the leader. She's moved up by 3 places. Lisa Vahlen has dropped down 1. Zofia Kovac in a similar place. Jessica Gadirova not much different. Not a huge change really in the top few, but one gymnast who has moved back up is Georgia May Fenton. She's in 8th position as things stand, as we look right the way down the order.
At the European Championships in Antalya.
Now the top group moves to the balance beam. We have at the moment then, just to restate it, Alice D'Amato 1, Lisa Vahlen 2, Zofia Kovac 3. These are the gymnasts that will be vaulting. Over on the uneven bars, it will be Maisa Kutsiko to get us underway.
Rotation 3.
And all of the top 5, as things stand, will be on beam. The leader of the peloton is Aitora Thorsdottir, and she'll be first to go on floor, where she has been hugely popular among gymnastics fans for a very long time.
On floor exercise. A Dutch athlete.
Now, obviously, we're going to show Aitora Thorsdottir on floor. It's mandatory in an all-around competition, indeed any gymnastics competition. She's a super on this piece. She won a silver medal in 2019 at the European Championships. The graduate of Performing Arts, Eyþóra Thórsdóttir, brings us her usual expressivity on floor.
In this third rotation, she's 24. She was born in the city of Rotterdam.
Jessica Gadirova on beam. Candle mount to begin. 13.6 in qualification.
Became seventh in the team competition at the Rio Olympic Games in 2016.
Just a little adjustment needed. Gymnast who won the all-around bronze medal in her debut European Championships in Basel in 2021. She's competed sparingly this year, hasn't done everything in a competition since the World Championships. This is going very well. Very good display from Jessica Gadirova. The score 13.533. It's put her in a really good position, especially as she lost a few tenths on the uneven bars from qualification.
On balance beam, Belgian athlete Lisa Valen.
Now to Lisa Valen, the second best at the moment. On beam, she scored 11.466 in qualification. This is a big routine for her chances. She has had such a good competition so far. Well performed side somersault. She got so close to a medal at the European Championships last year, finishing fourth in the vaulting competition. Well, Lisa Valen of Belgium, after an 11.466 in qualification, that could be a game-changing moment for the seventh strongest qualifier. It's 12.7 for Eyþóra Thórsdóttir. She's up by 1/10 from qualification. Over on the uneven bars, the gymnasts who were the fourth strongest in qualification.
On a little trip to the 80s. Waiting for scores of Lisa Valen on beam and Maja Kuusiko on uneven bars. Score for Valen.
Maëlys Brassard of Belgium. 9th place at the halfway mark of the competition. She scored 12.633 in qualifying.
Next on beam, Great Britain with Georgia May Fenton.
Just loses the leg form a little, pirouetting round. Has to work hard to build up the swingfulness again, which she's done nicely. Again, just at a moment perhaps of insecurity, and does manage that dismount. Maëlys Brassard. Well, she's up on her qualification performance so far by a few tenths. Can she make any bigger gains as she goes into the second half? Here's Georgia May Fenton of Great Britain on beam. Her score in qualifying, 12.333. Came second at the English Championships on beam.
Georgia May Fenton on floor exercise, and now on floor for Spain, Laura Casabuena.
She really has done so well, the 22-year-old, considering the tough start she had to the competition. It's a fine example of just putting that behind her. Well performed, Georgia May Fenton of Great Britain. Gymnast who worked her way back up to 8th after the first rotation. Here's Alba Petisco of Spain on vault, 13.033 in qualifying. Well landed full twisting Yurchenko from the 20-year-old from Catalonia. 13.166, that's a small improvement from qualification, but overall she is up by around about a mark with 1 to go. So we could see Petisco move up the standings from the 18th place she occupied after the qualifying. 13.666 for Maëlys Brassard. That is a big jump of a mark. Lisa Valen has done likewise, but a mark and a half. 12.933. So the Belgians, both of them doing really well in the third rotation, and Valen's in contention as the score is 13.1 for Georgia May Fenton. So that is a gain of 3/4 of a mark plus. Now we go to Sarah Vos. That's nicely vaulted. 13.5, 9.3 execution. And she improves by a single tenth from the qualifying round.
Next on beam for the Netherlands.
It is Naomi Visser of the Netherlands on beam. 12.766 in qualifying. She's the Dutch champion. Just to remind you, Visser up in 5th place after a very good display on the uneven bars. unfortunately, Naomi Visser off the apparatus to the detriment of full mark. Part of the Dutch team that won bronze, just as they did in 2018 in her first senior year. The bulk of the display was strong from Naomi Visser. Just tilts her head to one side, knowing that there will regrettably be some cost to her score. Now we go to Manila Esposito of Italy on floor. 10th place at the halfway mark. I just hope that Manila Esposito is okay. She's walking a little gingerly and already has that leg very heavily taped. She's been such a great addition to the Italian national team. She was wonderful at the national championships last year. And she's evidence of how that golden generation is sort of going on, and they keep producing wonderful new athletes. And at the heart of it all, this gymnast.
Tora Torsdottir from the Netherlands has been rejected.
Alice D'Amato.
Submit an inquiry if they do not agree with the
now she's very well positioned coming to the beam. 14.4 on the uneven bars had her in first place by around 4/10 over Lisa Valen. She scored 13.033 in qualification. That's a good save. Could be a vital one. I think there were a few of you, more than a few of you, gasping at the screen as that happened. And what a response. Good acrobatic series. Again, just a slightly tentative reconnection with the apparatus coming out of the wolf turns. But she dismounts well. Alice D'Amato of Italy. This is going to be a fascinating conclusion to the competition. It could be rather tight. Now to Tonja Paulsson of Sweden on vault. A nice piece of vaulting it was too. Full twisting Yurchenko, garnering 13.266. Gymnast who won a bronze medal at the Youth Olympic Games. As part of a mixed team named after one of the great vaulters, Oksana Chusovitna. Now, a nice moment in this competition. We get to look at one of those regional European top performers, Kaija Tanskanen of Finland, the reigning Northern European all-around champion. The 17-year-old who was born in Michigan scores 13.2. Only started competing for Finland last year. Her parents owned a gymnasium, so she very much grew up around the sport. Was a junior for Finland, so a return to where she was. 12.1 for Naomi Visser will change where she is. Alice D'Amato gets 13. Manuela Esposito 11.8. That has made for an extremely interesting dynamic, and I'll explain why when we get to the end of this rotation. But first, we need to see Zofia Kovac, because she will have her say too. Third place coming into this, a score of 13.533 on beam.
The full exercise of Amalia Giguarta, one of these youngsters of the Romanian team. She's only 16.
She is already the best ever Hungarian in a women's all-around competition at the European Championships, having finished second in Cluj-Napoca in 2017. And you've got to go back some way for the other medal. It was Henrietta Onodi in 1990 in Athens, a bronze. She's there, going into the final rotation, absolutely in contention. We've got several really in contention, and it's going to be a nerve-wracking last rotation.
Again.
To Maisa Kuustikko of Finland on the uneven bars. 12th place at the halfway mark of the competition. One of the rare crop of gymnasts who've won national championship medals in every single event. Shaposhnikova to open. Into the Kachev. Just gets through the Pak Salto. Maloney. Skill she's been working on. It's always a lovely skill to watch. And she dismounts well, nicely performed from Maisa Kuustikko for a 13.266, and that is a gain of a mark from qualification. It's an important performance for her. She was the 21st strongest in qualification. Ana Barbosu of Romania takes to the floor. 7th place at the halfway stage. What can she do here? Oh, most unfortunate at the end. The hands going down for Ana Barbosu, but we've got to have our hands clapping together for her, considering that this is a return to the nation where she was one of the finest junior European Championship performers in history. To win all 6 gold medals is virtually unheard of. So she must have some very nice memories coming back here. Now that will do, won't it? 13.833 for Zofia Kovac. And it puts her into the lead in this all-around competition. Let's take stock of Morgane Ossisek of France on the uneven bars. 11th at the halfway point. Struggling just to keep the form tidy throughout this routine so far. But did well with her Jaeger. And did well with the dismount too. Got that back together nicely, Morgane Ossisek. The score is 12.8 and it is way better than qualification by 2.3 marks. As Ana Barbosu scores 12.033, and that for her is unfortunately a drop of 1.2 from the preliminary round, so that will affect her position. Leading, it is Kovac, then we have D'Amato, then we have Gadirova, and then we have Valen. Really, we've got 4 gymnasts who are particularly well positioned, and I'll come back to them in a moment as we look down the leaderboard. Amalia Giguarta's done well to make up a little ground after that tough start. It's impressive to see her advancing, considering she opened with a single figures score. So, once again, Kovac, then D'Amato, then Gadirova. The numbers are as follows: 41.633, 41.4, 41.099. So we've got really less than half a mark between those top 3 gymnasts. It is Aitora Thorsdottir who's the best placed of all the gymnasts in that group. She's currently 8th. She will be finishing on vault. Now, on the uneven bars, we've got Alba Petisco, who's 11th in the standings at the moment. in this group, we start with Maëlys Brassard. Brassard is in 5th place at the moment. And the top performers from qualification finish on floor, and that's the top 4 gymnasts at the moment in the order will go on floor. But Brassard is certainly somebody, I mentioned at the start, she had the potential to make a big move up the standing. She's done just that, and consequently, she's really part of the conversation. She's probably, as you would say, leading the peloton, because Lisa Vahlen is below Jessica Gadirova by about a 10th or so. So she's absolutely part of the equation, and she's going to get us underway. So once again, your top 5, Kovac, D'Amato, Gadirova, Vahlen, Brassard, ranging from 41.633 to 39.465.
On-floor exercise for Belgium, Lisa Vahlen.
Lisa Vahlen of Belgium. What a good day. No Belgian has ever won a medal in the women's all-around competition. Wherever Lisa Vahlen finishes in the standings, she's been terrific in this all-around competition. She's already the best Belgium's ever had in an all-around. That was 5th last year. Is she going to go further than that and make history for her nation? Maëlys Brassard is currently in 5th. This is a big moment for her on beam. She scored 11.133. This was her weakest performance in qualification. But goodness, when you think the 27th strongest in the preliminary round is somebody that we need to focus on because she's in with a shout of a medal. That is a great display. Maëlys Brassard, the law undergraduate, has laid the law down in this all-around final. That is a great conclusion to a thoroughly convincing campaign. Her teammate watches on, waits for her number to come in. At the moment, I can tell you Laura Casabuena is leading the all-around competition by virtue of being only the second gymnast to have completed her campaign in full. But it will change almost certainly. It has done. Lisa Vahlen goes into the gold medal position, 13.133. She's improved upon her performance in qualification. There now is the leader, Georgia May Fenton of Great Britain. 12.9 in qualification. She's rebounded really well after the start. And that brings to a close Georgia May Fenton's competition. She was the 5th best performer in qualification. She's worked back up to 7th coming into this last rotation. She's done well to do that. Great member of the British team. Just saw there the Swedish and Finnish coaches, traditional sporting rivals, standing next to each other as we look at Bianca Frisak, the reserve gymnast, coming into this final. Some difficulties in flight in the vault. 24-year-old from Vienna. It is wonderful to see her back at international level, having last competed at the World Championships in 2021. She's actually only done one domestic competition since then. It was in March. A local friendly event. But good that she's back. Gymnast from the great city of Vienna. Laura Casabuena. That was the vault that took her into an early lead. Since been surpassed, but it was well performed, wasn't it? Improvement from qualification, a really solid display from Laura Casabuena. Currently she occupies 4th place in the standings. She was the 12th best in qualification. Gymnast from the Valencia area, but based in Madrid since 2021, where she trains. Georgia May Fenton with 12.633 goes into the provisional bronze medal position. I can tell you that it is Lisa Vahlen, Maëlys Brassard who are 1st and 2nd at the moment. Here is Naomi Visser. Her score in qualification, 13.666. The gymnast who was 5th in the all-around competition at the World Championships in 2021. But for some struggles on the balance beam, she would be right up there.
World Championships in Kitak Yusho in the all-around competition. Impressive result for her at these World Championships.
Romania's Ana Barbosu on vault. Last performance coming up for her on her return to Turkey. And Yurchenko 1.5 yields a 13.4 score for Barbosu, much better than qualification where she had some real difficulties, and she is currently in 5th position in the all-around standings. But it is still Belgium 1 and 2 at the moment, and the Belgians were excited about the potential today. They were talking a lot about it, and these scores prove that it was more than just Belgian waffle. They knew what they were talking about. 13.4, Brassard goes into the silver medal position wherever she ends up. That move from 27th to in the top group is going to be one of the big all-around shifts from qualification to a final of the year.
13.2 on floor exercise. Next on floor.
4th place for Naomi Visser. The score 13.2. So she's actually just dropped in behind her own teammate, Aytora Thorsdottir. But now we go to Alice D'Amato.
Alice D'Amato.
The gymnast leading the way coming into this final rotation. She needs 12.7 to go into the lead. Alice D'Amato of Italy completes her all-around competition, seeking a score in excess of 12.7 to go into the lead. We'll come back to her in a moment. We must catch up with Aytora Thorsdottir because this is the performance on vault that pushed her into bronze medal position. And what about that? 13.933 for the double twisting Yurchenko, and currently bronze for Thorsdottir, who regrettably does seem to be walking a little uncomfortably off the podium. But that's a super finish to her all-around final. Just hope that all is well for her. Now, what about Alice D'Amato? Her sister Asia, the champion of Europe last year. She's into the lead, 13.1. 54.5. Alicia D'Amato goes into the gold medal position. Lisa Vahlen is in second place. Maëlys Brassard third. And now the challenge begins. Zofia Kovac.
And now on floor exercise for Hungary.
She needs about a 12.9 to go into the lead. She scored 13.266 in qualification. Goodness knows what she was feeling when she stepped up to perform. But if there was pressure, it did not show. She was as cool as the waters of the Mediterranean Sea on this sunny day in Antalya. And she was as calm as them too.
Medal at the European Championships. Everything's still possible.
To Morgane Osisek of France on the beam.
Now on board to Hungary, Zofia Kovac.
She scored 12.8 in qualification. She has won a couple of consecutive balance beam titles at national level. Competition really well concluded with a 12.633 for Morgane Osisek of France. She's currently in 12th position. Zofia Kovac goes into the gold medal position with a total score of 54.899, and that guarantees her a silver medal. We've seen it, she hasn't. She's about to find out that Hungary is back in the big time. One of the great gymnastic nations is on the podium. She will win at least a silver medal. The final performance comes from Great Britain's Jessica Gadirova.
Yes, indeed. Jessica Gadirova.
She needs a score in excess of 13.8 to win this European all-around title. Her score in qualification, that's right, 13.9. We promised you drama, now you've got it. What a fabulous all-around final this has been. The applause rings out. A nervous-looking Zofia Kovac watches on as Jessica Gadirova plays her part in a thrilling conclusion. And now it is over to the judges, and one does not envy them their task. This was so well performed from a gymnast who excels on floor. We are, after all, watching the reigning world champion on this piece. It's her territory, this. But where will she end up on the podium? ...2013 was the last time that there wasn't a British woman on the all-around podium at the European Championships. Leading the way is Zofia Kovac, 54.899. Then Alice D'Amato, 54.5. Then Lisa Vahlen, 54.099. A score in excess of 13.8 required for Jessica Gadirova of Great Britain. Wherever she finishes, and she's guaranteed at least a silver medal, Zofia Kovac has been phenomenal today, as has she, as has Alice D'Amato. This has been a crackerjack of an all-around final. Whoever wins it has won it on their own terms, not based on others having problems. They've gone out there and won it. Who will it be? It's going to be close. That's all we can guarantee at this stage. Gold! Jessica Gadirova, you are the European all-around champion. 13.933. She cannot stop winning. But please, Zofia Kovac, cry tears of joy, for there are many around this continent crying tears of joy for you. It's the toughest position often to finish in, but my goodness, she could not have given more. And also amidst this, Alice D'Amato taking a bronze medal as we look at your European all-around champion, Great Britain's Jessica Gadirova, the second from her nation after Ellie Downey in 2017 to win the title. On that occasion, there was a young British gymnast who bested Zofia Kovac into second place, and it's happened again 6 years on. That was such a memorable final, and the Belgians as well. Let's just take a big moment to honour Lisa Valen and Maëlys Brassard. Maëlys Brassard, you have jumped 22 places from qualification. That's a big-time performance, and Lisa Valen has just secured the best ever result for a Belgian gymnast at the European Championships. Zofia Kovac has made it once again onto the podium. Hungary's most successful ever all-around gymnast at the European Championships. The classified results in the all-around competition: a bronze medal to Alice D'Amato of Italy, the silver to Zofia Kovac of Hungary, and the gold medal to Jessica Gadirova of Great Britain, the gymnast who just wins and wins and then wins some more. But we look down the order at gymnasts who played their part, and we remind ourselves that if you've made it to this stage, to the all-around final at continental level, you're one of the best on the continent, and you've earned the respect of your peers and of us as fans of this sport. We'll have for your entertainment in a short while the victory ceremony, but let's look back and remind ourselves of how the medals were won.
medalists on the stage.
Since 2018, ladies and gentlemen, European Gymnastics and their global partner Smart Scoring award a special trophy to gymnasts with an exceptional story or to athletes who inspire the future generation. This trophy is the Smart Scoring Shooting Star Awards. And here in Antalya, we are happy to present this trophy to two gymnasts. The first trophy goes to a three-time Olympic athlete who won dozens of medals at countless major competitions, including European Championships. Not only is she a gymnast, she's also a mother of two beautiful children. In 2018, she decided to retire and work as a teacher and a coach. But she made a comeback to become again a member of the Greek national team. She's a living proof that gymnastics is not only a sport for teenagers, but for people of all ages. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kamran Ramazanov, CEO of our global partner Smart Scoring, will now hand over the first Shooting Star Award to Greek gymnast Vasiliki Milousi.
Thank you to Niels Daniel, our erstwhile Master of Ceremonies, marshalling over the Smart Scoring Award, Shooting Star Award. Vasiliki Milousi, welcome back. And a little toy to give to one of the little ones as well.
I'm so glad to be here again. And of course, I represent older women in sports, in gymnastics, moms in gymnastics, that they never give up their dreams. Thank you so much.
Vasiliki Milousi, ladies and gentlemen. And we have a second Shooting Star Award, and that goes to a gymnast from Slovakia. Last year, at the age of just 18 years old, he was the only senior men's gymnast in the country. It was hard to find the motivation to compete since he was always the only competitor. But now, here at the European Championships in Antalya, in Turkey, Slovakia takes part with a full men's team. Our trophy winner is now suddenly the leader of a group of young gymnasts. Mr. Ramazanov will now hand over the second Smart Scoring Shooting Star Award to Slovakia's Maciej Nemcovic.
This is a really nice moment for 19-year-old Maciej Nemcovic of Slovakia, the man from the beautiful city of Bratislava, who's been at the heart of Slovakia's determined effort to really bolster its gymnastics program. And he must be looking around thinking, crikey, I'm on a stage with Vasiliki Milousi at the European Championships, being given a prestigious award.
Maciej, one quick question. How was it for you to be here with a full men's team?
It's uncomparable than training alone. Like the support you receive from the team is amazing.
Uncomparable to competing alone. Thank you so much for being here. Vasiliki, thank you so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, Vasiliki Milousi and Maciej Nemcovic.
Presentation of the Shooting Star Awards. Maciej Nemcovic and Vasiliki Milousi, your winners. Oh, how great to see Vasiliki Milousi back. And well done, and thank you to Niels Daniel for hosting that. Next, we'll bring you the big one, the victory ceremony for the all-around competition. And the time has come. to talk of many things, and what talking points we have in this final. What a final it was, such a great standard and such a close finish as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 10th Artistic Gymnastics European Championship Women All-Round Final Award Ceremony.
The victory ceremony for the all-around competition in women's artistic gymnastics at the European Championships. The bronze medal to Alice D'Amato of Italy. Whichever D'Amato turns up, they get on the podium in the European all-around competition. And she's back again, two-time silver medalist in the all-around competition, Hungary's Zsófia Kovács. A wonderful display. She won that silver medal. There's no shame in finishing second to this gymnast. Great Britain's Jessica Gadirova, a serial winner. But this is a major moment for her. It's an all-around top spot that she's been seeking and searching for. And she did it on floor. And you always had the feeling, didn't you, that if Jessica Gadirova was in touching distance going to floor, then it would favour her, because she is so reliable on that apparatus. Oh, she's more than reliable, she's world-leading, world-beating, and now she's Europe's finest in all-around gymnastics.
And the gold medal is presented by Turkey Gymnastics Federation Vice President Mr. İsmail Göktekin.
And we will now have the national anthem of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
Please rise and direct your attention towards the flag ceremony and the national anthem of Great Britain.
God Save the King, played in honour of Jessica Gadirova. And there they are, the medalists in the all-around competition at the 2023 Artistic Gymnastics European Championships, taking place at the Antalya Sports Hall in Turkey. What a day, what a final, what entertainment. It's been a wonderful, wonderful competition, and a pleasure having your company for it as well. The apparatus finals start tomorrow a little earlier by a couple of hours, so do check your local start time for the competition, and I hope to see you for it. I've been Ollie Hogben saying goodbye, but not farewell, and I'll leave you with some of the highlights of the day.